Sean and I are real fortunate to work with golfers every day. One of the most common complaints that we hear in lessons is that, I should be hitting the ball farther. I know I've got more clubhead speed than I'm producing right now. I'm just not sure why that's not happening. So I'm certainly trying to. Now, if that sounds like something that you're dealing with right now, in today's video, we're going to show you by looking at two key measurable elements to the downswing, that how once you start moving them more into your favor, you're going to start maximizing and producing more clubhead speed. Now, this is with the current golf swing that you have. This is with your current level of strength and conditioning. We're going to show you how just kind of altering these two elements to the downswing will really help you produce more clubhead speed. Before we dive into this video, we want to remind you that we offer a lot more than what you're seeing here on our YouTube channel. If you could use more step-by-step training or want Sean and I to have a look at your golf swing and tell you what we recommend you work on, click on the link below this video in the description area. There you'll get all the details about our online training. We built everything in there to help you swing and play your best. The amateur golfer we're using today is a good golfer. He's a single-digit handicap. And the reason he came in to see us was he felt like he was not hitting the ball as far as he could. And after looking at his data and analyzing his swing, he was exactly right, and today we're going to show you exactly why. A couple of things that we want to highlight in this video are, one, the angle that you're looking at here on the screen. That's his lag angle, or the angle formed by his lead forearm, in this case his left forearm, and the club shaft. Then we also want to look at when his hands, when the grip into the club reaches its max speed in the downswing. These two elements exist in every golf swing, and the combination of the size of this angle that you're looking at now on the screen and when those hands reach their max speed plays a massive role in your ability to generate clubhead speed. So we're going to focus in on the top of the swing down to impact, and you can see right here that his angle now is 100 degrees at the top, and that puts him in a good range at the top relative to what good players typically do. As he starts down, that angle grows. Right here is where he has reached his maximum hand speed or grip speed, whichever way you want to look at it. Notice his angle now. It grew from 100 to 131 degrees in the time it took him to reach his maximum hand speed. And that maximum hand speed was 21 miles an hour. That's actually a pretty darn fast and well within tour range. So his instincts were right on the money. He was producing tour level hand speed, right? His effort was tour level, but with well below tour level clubhead speed and distance. And you as the golfer can feel that. You know when you're really trying to produce more distance, but have that disconnect between the effort that you're putting in and the results that you're seeing. Also, make a mental note of where his clubhead is at this point in his swing. It's not very far from the golf ball, so he's left himself very little time to accelerate that clubhead, to really ramp up that clubhead speed before it touches the ball. Now as he moves into impact, his angle grew another 31 degrees, and he reaches impact with a clubhead speed of 82 miles an hour with this 7-iron. So to recap, his angle grew 31 degrees in the amount of time it took him to reach maximum hand speed in the downswing. And that hand speed was 21 miles an hour, and all of that produced an 82 mile an hour clubhead speed. Now let's look at our pro. Well, we're actually going to show you a number of pros today, but we're going to start with this first guy here for a reason. This pro is the same age as our amateur. He's the same height and weight. He's within 5 degrees of body rotation, and they both have identical maximum hand speeds, really down to the 100th of a mile per hour. So a pretty darn fair apples to apples comparison with regards to all the physiology between the two golfers. At the top, our pro's angle is 90 degrees. And like our amateur golfer, he's increasing that lag angle early in the downswing. Right here is where he reaches his maximum hand speed. Notice how much earlier in the downswing he got to his 21 miles per hour. How much higher the hands are and how much farther away from the ball the clubhead is. His angle only grew 14 degrees in the time it took him to reach his maximum hand speed. Less than half of what our amateur did. And as we roll him into impact, we see a 50-degree increase to his angle with a clubhead speed of 87 miles per hour. So 5 miles per hour faster than our amateur was from the exact same hand speed. And here's a look at each golfer side by side. The differences are pretty stark with regards to when they reach their maximum hand speeds and how much angle they've spent getting there. So our pro's not bigger, he's not younger, he's not stronger, and he doesn't rotate any harder or faster than our amateur. This pro just had a completely different intent to start his downswing. And that intent, the difference there, is what allows him to reach his maximum hand speed much sooner with more of that lag angle intact. And that alone produced the differences you're seeing here in club head speed. And we'll talk about that intent, that difference in intent to start the downswing here in just a minute. So now let's take a look at a few more examples. And the one we're going to show you now is an example. It's more of an extreme example of the kind of club head speed that can be generated from the same 21 mile per hour hand speed. So this pro is actually decreasing that lag angle. Again, that's the opposite of what you saw our first two golfers do. He's float loading. He's decreasing that lag angle starting the downswing. Now, there are potential other issues associated with this float loading. So we're not saying go out and try to float load. We just want to show you what is possible with regards to producing more club head speed when this angle and the timing of the hand speed coincide with one another. As we mentioned, his maximum hand speed is also 21 miles an hour, but look at how much smaller his angle is here and how much further away the club head is from the ball. And as we scroll him into the ball, he reaches impact with a 90 mile an hour club head speed. Again, this is an extreme and something many golfers physically won't be able to do, but it does show you how the timing of these two elements can seriously boost club head speed. So now let's take a look at what happens when the hand speed lowers or when the hand speed raises. We'll start with a slower maximum hand speed. You're looking now at an LPGA pro who has a maximum hand speed of 18 miles an hour. That's 3 miles an hour slower than our amateur golfer. Even though she has a lower potential for overall speed and her angle is not as small as the pro we just looked at, she's still able to generate 82 miles an hour of club head speed. The reason being, her hands have reached their maximum speed much earlier, and that allows her more time to generate club head speed, to transfer that hand speed into club head speed before impact. Now let's look at what happens, or what potentially can happen if you can increase your hand speed. We just looked at a pro who was 3 miles an hour slower. Now let's look at one who's 3 miles per hour faster. Here our pro has maxed out his hand speed at 24 miles an hour, and in typical pro fashion, he's done it early, and he didn't spend a lot of that lag angle that he had at the top of the swing. And notice again how far away the club head is from the golf ball. So from here into impact, he was able to turn that 3 mile an hour faster hand speed into a whopping 18 mile an hour increase in club head speed with this 100 mile per hour 7-iron. So the takeaway is, regardless of your hand speed, to hit it farther, you need to reach your maximum hand speed earlier. That will allow you to have more of that lag angle intact when you then start to transfer that hand speed out to the club. And that takes time, which is why we're back to needing it to happen early. We mentioned a few minutes ago that our pro had a totally different concept for starting the downswing than our AM did. The AM told us that he was told to leave the arms and hands up to start the downswing and really crank up the body rotation. The problem, however, is by doing that, he was stalling the acceleration of his hands. The idea of leaving the hands and arms up is why his maximum hand speed was happening so much later than what we saw in our pros. And to his credit, that's exactly what he was doing. And to compound the problem even more, when the hands and arms are left up and the body starts turning, the hands start to work out towards the golf ball. And when that happens, any golfer with any skill level, any eye-hand coordination at all to make decent contact with the ball will start to dump those lag angles early. You have to in order to hit the ball. So our AM's one concept produced two things that were really keeping him from hitting the ball farther and generating the club head speed that he knew he was capable of producing. To really make this point clear, we wanted to show you the same amateur swing here on the left and then show you his after swing at the end of the lesson on the right. The change that we made was really simple. It was to get the grip moving sooner, faster, and moving in the right direction. And when you start working on the right things at the right times, you should start to see an improvement across the board. In his case, it was allowing him to rotate more and keep more of that lag angle, to spin less of that lag angle early in the downswing. Now, I want to make it clear, we did not work on trying to hold any angles. He was not trying to create lag. He was not trying to hold lag. Please do not try to hold lag. That does not work. Instead, we got his better angles by earlier acceleration. That lag angle is a byproduct of doing other things well. It's not a result from trying to hold the angle. Because this was the opposite of what he had been previously doing, and he was still trying to think his way through it and make sure it was happening, his hand speed dropped down to 20 miles an hour. So it's 1 mile an hour slower than what he started with. But because this was the right thing to do, his club head speed jumped up to 88 miles an hour. So with his hands moving a little slower, and with him still thinking his way through it, he picked up 6 miles per hour of club head speed just thinking about the timing and moving the hands earlier and faster in the downswing. We say this all the time, concepts are big, especially when it comes to maximizing what you're capable of doing in that very short window of time, that quarter of a second downswing. You've got to start that downswing with the right concept because there's not enough time to recover from a poor one. Then you do what this golfer did. He worked hard to make the change. Now he's enjoying the results from all that. He's enjoying the much faster club head speed. He's enjoying hitting it by his buddies. He's enjoying having a lot more fun when he's out there playing the game. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up by clicking that like button. If you have a comment about the video, please share it with us. We read every comment. We want to answer and we want to make this information as clear as possible. Sometimes we don't do it in the video. We can clear it up in the comments below. Also, if we haven't covered a topic that can help your game, please let us know that as well. We'll make a video just for you. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do. You'll get a notification every time a new video comes out. Now, if you're a guy or a girl who could use more tour-like impact, compression, all those cool words we see every week on the PGA Tour, cracking those irons off the face, we've put together a free video with our #1 drill to give you all of those things in your swing, and you're going to do it just as soon as you watch that video. All you need to do is go to the first pinned comment below. There's a link in that comment. Click on that link. You'll be taken to a page where you enter your email, name, and we're going to send that video, that free video, straight to your inbox immediately so you can get cracking on those iron shots for more compression, more distance, and more fun out there on the golf course.